Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. After weeks of lawsuits, arrest warrants, and 2 special legislative sessions, members of the Texas House of Representatives came to an agreement on restrictive voting bills. In fact, this is a voter suppression bill, but that also passed the state Senate, clearing a path to Governor Greg Abbott's desk, where he will surely sign it into law. Civil rights groups and voting rights activists argued that provisions in the laws that bar drive-through voting and 24-hour polling centers and increase regulations on mail-in ballots will disproportionately impact communities of color. But Texas Republicans claim the laws are not racially motivated and do not create barriers to voting, but do ensure that the Lone Star State will have fair and accurate elections. That, of course, is a straw man argument. The last election was the most secure election in American history, according to security experts. Texas has become the latest state to use former President Trump's big lie as a catalyst to restrict access to the voting box. This year alone, 18 states, including Texas, have passed more than 30 bills with restrictive voting measures. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, the Biden administration has done too little to pressure holdout Democrats to pass the For the People Act. In the time that Texas Republicans fought for and passed new restrictive laws, President Biden has gotten his infrastructure bill through the Senate and evacuated U.S. troops from Afghanistan, but has not been able to or inclined to move the needle on voting rights. Joining us to discuss are Texas State Representatives Jasmine Crockett and Ron Reynolds. Jasmine, so what does this mean now for the state of Texas and you guys who had protested and tried to break quorum to prevent this from happening? Now it looks like it will surely happen.
Absolutely. First of all, it's good to see you this evening, Charles. And, one thing I do want to correct that you said in your opening was that there was an agreement. There was no agreement. Basically, the Democrats got steamrolled. And so
among Republicans, I meant.
Yeah, correct. There was an agreement among them. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
And so we anticipate the next step will be litigation. This law would not take effect for at least 90 days. So that's one thing that's good about the way that we do legislation in the state of Texas versus in the United States kind of Senate and the U.S. House. Once they pass a bill and it gets to the president's desk, it becomes law. So, we're still on a tight time crunch. Obviously, this has not been signed into law just yet by our governor, but definitely we'll have maybe a window of about 90 days. So we absolutely need something to be done on the federal level. And we obviously are going to go to court no matter if we have federal legislation or not. Obviously, our arguments are a lot stronger if we do have some federal laws in place to help us.
So, Ron, in the state of Georgia, people opposed to the voter restriction laws that were passed here in Georgia went to court also. And the courts basically said, no dice. They can do what they want to do. What do you think the prospects are in Texas that a state judge or a federal judge would say that what has been passed in the state of Texas is illegal or unconstitutional?
Charles, I think that it's an uphill battle. I think that we are beholden to the U.S. Senate to fix this, because if we rely upon the courts to do it, it's unlikely to happen. Ultimately, the case may end up at the U.S. Supreme Court, where undoubtedly they will rule against the side of democracy. They're the same court that struck down the key section and provision of the Federal Voting Rights Act of 1965 under the Shelby case. And so I don't have much confidence in the court. So really, all of our efforts, it really lies on the U.S. Senate. We need, as you said in your opening, President Biden to come down stronger. Really, this is the fierce urgency of now, that he needs to come down and say, you know what, Senator Manchin, you know what, Senator Sinema, Democrats have a majority. If we don't pass this bill now through reconciliation, breaking the filibuster, then we're going to lose not only the Senate, we're going to lose the House. and more than likely we won't have the Oval Office in 4 years. So what I'm saying is that President Biden needs to put some more skin in the game, using the bully pulpit, using his power of persuasion from all of his years in the United States Senate and as vice president to effectively get this thing done. We don't have time to wait. Unfortunately, the Republicans were hell-bent on passing this voter suppression bill by any means necessary. They know that there was no voter fraud, but they're doing everything they can to suppress Black and brown folks in this country from exercising their constitutional protected right to vote.
So, Jasmine, you know, these voter suppression bills are just the first step. The next big thing is redistricting, which will also be controlled by your Republican-led legislature in the state of Texas. If they can get this through, they can get their maps through. You can challenge them in court, but as Ron just said, that's an uphill battle. The legislation on the federal level would deal with redistricting to make sure that it was more fair, but it has not been pushed. As Ron said, the president just has not leaned in on this issue as much as we would like him to have leaned in. Do you believe that now that he has dealt with, you know, kind of a setback in some ways, the pullout of Afghanistan, and still having to get through the infrastructure bill, that he will be more inclined to lean through, or will that kind of chasten him and he'll be less inclined to lean in on this voting rights bill?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. This is a 1-2 punch for the Republicans, right? Like, they want to do both of these things. And so we absolutely plan to show up for redistricting. There is no planned quorum break, at least at this point in time, because we do have to make a record. We do have to make sure that we do lay a foundation for what is left of any federal oversight as it relates to redistricting. We also have some additional protections in place in our Texas Constitution that may help us out, at least on our state maps right now. As far as the president, you know, he finally did come out and say something once we got H.R. 4 past the U.S. House. He finally said it's time to get H.R. 1 and H.R. 4 to my desk. That was the first time I really heard him say anything about both pieces of legislation specifically. And so I do think that he really did make his priority infrastructure while ignoring the infrastructure of our democracy. So I think since he has made the headway that he wanted to make on that, and if he really does want to rebound as relates to this Afghanistan blowback that he's feeling, I think that voting legislation really is the way to do it. I think that when we broke quorum, we really raised the level of awareness about what's going on in this country, not just in Texas. And I think people are motivated and they are really ready to get involved. But they obviously know that we have some hurdles that the Republicans have placed in front of them. And I think that if the president comes down and comes down hard, then he'll be on the right side of history. He really does need that LBJ moment.
Ron, when you guys broke quorum and went to D.C., all kind of representatives and senators were willing to meet with you and discuss this issue with you, including the vice president met with some members of the delegation. What have you heard from them now? What are you hearing from them tonight? What are you hearing from them lately about how they plan to move forward on these voting rights bills on the federal level?
Well, Charles, we were just recently in D.C. for the historic 58th anniversary of the March on Washington. And we were there and we met with some of them that were there. But quite frankly, it was House members that had already passed it. The chair of the CBC and the author of the John Lewis bill, Representative Sewell. And you know, we were just recently with Speaker Pelosi. But it's really, the ball is in the United States Senate's court. And besides Senator Booker and some of the Democrats, the 48, we know where they are, but we haven't heard much from the two that it boils down to. I mean, again, this is an audience of two. I hate to say that and oversimplify it, but it's really about math. We need two United States senators to get off of their philosophical agreement about the filibuster to get this legislation passed. And we haven't heard anything. The House came back early from recess to take up that important legislation. I really am leaning on Senator Schumer as well to bring the Senate back early, but that didn't happen. But more than likely, If this doesn't get done in early September, right after they come back from the recess, I think that a lot of the effort is going to go to down the drain, and it would have all been for naught. So I'm hoping and I'm praying, and we're going to continue to make phone calls. We know that activists are continuing to go to West Virginia and Arizona, and we're not giving up. We too much is at stake. We've come too far as a country from people who literally died. That bill and legislation was signed and read, and that is why we need for them to act now. There are so many issues and so many people's whose voting rights will be at stake and at peril if they don't get this federal legislation passed. So I don't know what they're waiting on. Republicans have made it abundantly clear that they have no interest in being statesmen and negotiating. They want to win at all costs. And so it's time for the Democrats to go it alone, just like they did with so many other things through the CARES Act. So we need them to act now, and we need them to remember they're Democrats.
Jasmine, I only have about a minute here, but I want to shift focus just a little bit. Governor Abbott signed a state law that bans abortions after the 6 weeks of pregnancy. If the Supreme Court does not intervene, the law will go into effect. Can I get your reaction about the passage of this particular law?
Yeah, they actually went into litigation over this as well, and we were shut down. So Texas will have the most restrictive abortion laws on the books in this country. In addition to that, just on today, they decided they wanted to go one step further. And for those that decided that they wanted to potentially order pills to go ahead and terminate a pregnancy, they decided that they wanted to ban that as well. As far as I'm concerned, they're looking at the numbers, they're looking at the growth in the state of Texas, and they're concerned about white folk not having enough babies. And so they've decided this is what we have to do. But it's absolutely ridiculous for the party that is insistent upon telling people that it's a violation of their freedom if they have to wear a mask, to then tell women what they have to do with their bodies. Even in the case of a child that is raped, there will be no exception. A child that is raped, there will not be an exception. So you tell me if they really care about people's freedom or not.